Good morning. It is day 4. We have made it to day 4 of our challenge. So I am upstairs today in my office, which is upstairs from the workout room that I've been using. And I sort of did that on purpose to try to demonstrate to you that just about everything that we can do can be done in a small space. So if you are really time crunched, and I know a lot of you are, that a lot of the stuff that we do, you can actually do in a small room, like a small room in your house, in your office, or someplace else, especially if you're not one to go to the gym, or maybe the gym just isn't happening for you some days. So today we're going to keep our focus on core and balance, but what I'm also going to encourage you to do is work in what I call some cardio intervals, okay? Now that's really part of a 3-pronged strategy that I normally teach with my clients, and I'll talk to you about that a little bit later in the challenge. But today, core and balance, and what I'd like for you to try to do is 30-second cardio intervals if you can. Now, what is an interval? Well, if you can think back, for those of you that can remember back to the 80s and the 90s, when we typically referred to group fitness as aerobics, we tend to call that the A word now. What we consider to be interval training is a period of time where you get your heart rate up and then you rest. And then you get your heart rate up again and you rest, okay? And the analogy I like to use is thinking of it like a thermostat in your home, okay? And most of the time, like say in the summer months, for example, we're advised to keep our air conditioning set on the high side. That's so it doesn't run all day. But think about the months when you're constantly moving it around, right? You're turning it up some nights, some days, and turning it down other days. And what happens as a result of that when you get your electric bill, okay? The price is usually higher, right? Because that means that your system's using more energy. And that's the whole philosophy behind interval training is that we're trying to work hard for short periods of time, and then we're trying to bring the heart rate back down to recover. And what happens in the body when that's going on is that it takes a lot of energy to get your heart rate up, right? But it also takes energy for you to bring it back down, and then on right behind that, you're learning to take it back up again, okay? So that's the whole premise behind interval training. And in essence, what that allows you to do is not just burn more calories in your workout, okay? But by forcing your heart rate to consistently do this, then your body's learning to adapt to the stress better, okay? And that's where we see what's called a fitness effect, okay? There's a difference in your workout between a health effect and a fitness effect, okay? And in order to get fitter, we have to challenge ourselves to do more. And sometimes that means challenging ourselves to do something totally different. And one of the things that I want to share with y'all that I'm doing in this new year is on Friday mornings, I have started going to a cycling class. And for those of y'all that know me, you may not really find that all that surprising, but I tend to be a creature of habit just like you. So I tend to stick to things that I really enjoy, which is strength training, interval training, flexibility work. But cycle has just never really been my thing, okay? It's never really been my jam. So I decided this year I'm going to try to step out of my box a little bit too. And so the last 2 Friday mornings in a row, I've been to a spin class, okay? Taught by a good friend of mine at a club where I actually am on the schedule. So today was my second Friday at 6 a.m. So that was a good thing. So my point in saying all that is that there's lots of ways that we can heart rate train. And we're going to be talking, or I'm going to show you some other challenges a little bit later on as to how you can get your heart rate up, okay? But today we're going to focus on some core and balance and what I'm going to advise you to do in between sets wherever possible. And I realize if you're at work, this may not work, but maybe you can do this a little bit later in the day, maybe when you get home, or when you have a chance to take a break, is to take a 30-second interval and do a cardio challenge. Now for you, if you're at work, that might be going to the nearest steps, okay? It might be walking around the floor where your office is. It may be just walking out to your car if you're in a parking deck and back, okay? So I want you to really be creative with that, okay? And it might be longer than 30 seconds, but my point is to try to get you to take those small bursts of activity, anything that's going to really challenge you, to get you working, to get your heart pumping. That's where you're going to get the energy burst too, okay? And if you're in a position where you can do that in between the core and the balance challenges that I'm going to show you, then that's even better. So I want you to think, don't think, well, this is the only way I can do it, because there's always another option, okay? So what's on tap for today? Okay, we're going to do some core work lying down, okay? And some of the balance stuff that we do is going to be standing, obviously. Okay, but we're also going to work on one of my favorite balance exercises, which I call a step up. Okay, and you can do this if you have a flight of stairs, if you just have a little footstool that you can step up on, or anything along those lines. And keep in mind, that's going to help get the heart rate up too. So it's almost like a 2-for-1, maybe not quite. Okay. So head over to the Facebook group, okay? Check it out. I'm going to give you a little description and a brief demonstration and show you. And again, I'm going to be doing those right here in my office, so there's not going to be a whole lot of space around me, and I sort of did that on purpose, okay? So I hope you have a great Friday, okay? It's beautiful here today in Raleigh. It's a little on the cool side, but it's not raining, so that's a win. And I hope you have a great Friday. Enjoy the challenge. If you're behind, the good thing about our challenges is that you can always go back and catch up. That's the other thing with our short challenges, is that it's easy to work a couple of them into a day. So there's really not an excuse why you can't do something, right? So have fun with it. Let us know how you do. Comment in the Facebook group. Please reach out with your questions. If you're not sure, if you need an option for something, we are here to help. Me or someone on my team will be glad to help you. So make it a great one, y'all. Bye.